Hi, everyone. This is Jennifer Bacon, your friendly candidate for House District 7, here for another What's Up Wednesday. And I'm really excited today because we are joined by my good friend, Cate. Hi, Cate.
Hi.
Would you mind introducing yourself and what it is that you have been working on the topic with the Bell? If you would
my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me today. My name is Cate Blackford. I'm the Director of Outreach at the Bell Policy Center, and we are a research and advocacy organization. We really focus on providing policymakers, advocates, and the public with the reliable resources they need to make practical policy changes that promote economic mobility for every Coloradan.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. And tell us a little bit more about the work you've been doing around understanding what it means to live a middle-class life here in Colorado.
Yeah, the Bell published a report in 2018 about the state of Colorado's middle class. And what the data showed was that the experience is real, that we're not crazy, that the costs keep going up and wages are not keeping pace, and that it is getting harder and harder to live a middle-class lifestyle, that the middle class in Colorado is actively shrinking, both a little bit because people are moving into upper income, but mostly because people are dropping below middle-class income.
And so how do we see this playing out, in everyday life? What is it that people are encountering that's, landing people in this position?
So, as no one will be surprised to hear, the costs of housing and healthcare and childcare and education are massive expenses, and that they keep getting more expensive for folks. The report that we published shows what we looked at. What does it take to live a middle class life? Instead of defining it by income, as most people do, we looked instead at what is a middle class lifestyle and what are the things you expect from, the American dream or the sort of typical American middle class ideal. And that is usually owning a home, having transportation to and from work, your kids go to good schools, you are saving for your retirement, you get to take a vacation every year, you have access to healthcare, the basics, not extravagant European trips and months not working or anything along those lines, but sort of the basics of a middle class life. And what we found was, if you define middle class by income, you're looking at 2/3 to double the median income for a geographic location. And in Colorado, that ranges from about $68,000 a year to about $200,000 a year, or at least it did a couple of years ago. The data I have is from 2018. And only if you are at the uppermost edge of that income bracket, so really at that $200,000 household income level, can you afford all of those things? And so people are making massive trade-offs. They're not saving for retirement. They're not saving for college. They're taking on credit card debt. They're taking on home equity loans. If they do own a house, they are really, really leveraged, as you said, that people are having to pay for those basic necessities and not able to save for emergencies, which then means when something happens that they get further trapped in debt, and then that just really adds up. And so the costs of living are really outstripping the wages that we're earning, and it's getting harder and harder to have that financial stability that we associate with a middle class life.
Yeah. And how many people would you say in Colorado, are able to have that middle class life? I think I heard you say, the range is from $68,000 up to $200,000 in, combined household income. But what's the reality behind that number in this state? The reason why I think this was really important for House District 7 is we have, first of all, we're just the best House district in all of Colorado, and I have no shame in saying that. But my neighborhood spanned from a sliver of Park Hill in North Park Hill to Stapleton Northfield, Montbello, and Green Valley Ranch. And so, actually, the far Northeast is probably the most diverse neighborhood in Denver, not only along the lines of, ethnicity and background, but in income. And so, I think what we're really looking for is someone who understands these experiences and can talk about it in a real way. We've been talking about being leveraged. What that means is most people are mired by debt, and the debt that they have is to live. So this isn't debt because we all won the Tesla or Aston Martin, This is like, so I can go to the hospital or so I can send my kid to college. And the truth of the matter is there are a lot of things that can actually be done about that so that we can improve quality of life. And so as we head into the legislature in January, I'm curious about your thoughts are what are some of the things that we can be working on to really improve quality of life for our neighbors out here?
Well, one of the things that we know is that you're more likely to be able to afford that middle class lifestyle if you have a professional or managerial role in your work. Mm-hmm. And so we know that that takes additional education. And right now, our post-secondary education system is really ridiculously unaffordable and completely unattainable for so many Coloradans, and especially for Coloradans of color. Mm-hmm. And the attainment gaps that we have in our education systems make that part of what drives that, as well as the costs and other systemic barriers in our post-secondary education systems. And so we really need to make our post-secondary education system affordable and attainable for everyone, so that getting those advanced degrees that then set you up for success in a professional or managerial role are more attainable, and that more Coloradans have access to that. Right. There's also work that we need to be doing in terms of changing what we have as the baseline or the minimum requirements in order to take on those kinds of roles. That right now we have a credentialization problem where for jobs that 20 years ago you needed a high school degree or an associate's degree, now you have to have a bachelor's in order to even get into an entry level role. And so we are putting all of the burden on training and professional development on individuals, and that they have to go pay for a post-secondary education in order to get those credentials in order to get an entry-level job, versus the system where it used to be more mixed, where a lot of companies and employers did a lot of on-the-job training and professional development as well. And so that has gone from being a system where there was some individual responsibility and some community responsibility and some private sector responsibility, to now the responsibility is really solely on, or nearly solely on, individuals and families.
Right. It's great. I mean, we talked about it simply, it's people either can control what comes in with their income and then what goes out. So what can we do to mitigate around, these issues? How can we help increase what comes in and lower what goes out? And I think that's a good place for our legislature to really be thinking about and to be engaging with. And again, big shout out to public education. Thanks for mentioning that. This is why we talk about attainment gaps, and achievement gaps. It's not just about which students have aptitude or not, because that's false, right? Or which students have opportunity or not, because we can control that. What this is about is so much more, and kind of beyond that 18th year of someone's life, of what you are equipped with leaving here actually helps the health of our community, And then hopefully we have partners in places, that can help counter the private sector a little bit. No offense to the private sector. I mean, I get their whole point of existing is for equity and profit. So if we just know that about them, that's fine. That's our jobs. We'll take it on then to figure out what we can do to balance that for folks, And so again, really am grateful for your time in helping folks understand this and helping folks what kind of advocacy that they'll see from me and from other like-minded folks in the legislature to really help make Colorado the place that we all know it can be, and the place that we all love, because we can live here healthily And we can live here over, a couple of generations and be prepared to support those who come after us with transferring of wealth, and, and the ability to really move beyond survival to thrival. So thank you so much. Throughout this chat, I put some links up there for you all to check out the Bell Policy Center. Please, if you have some time, take a look at it. It's really great when folks on the ground or consumers or constituents know how to name what they're experiencing so that we can make those harder demands of our leaders, whether they're in business or in government. So if you all have a moment, check it out. And thank you so much. Thanks, Cate.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
All right. Bye.